let's see your rollout. So, a bit of advice. This goes for PC or console for anyone interested. If you charge up your punch, as soon as you see the 2 appear on your screen, and they're saying the word 2, if you charge your punch, by the time the door starts lowering, you'll be able to use it as a ramp and get a good distance with your punch, especially if you jump at the end of it. And then you can lead that into your E, and I promise you, you could actually almost get to point with it. I can get to point because I've done it so much, but I don't recommend you land on point immediately. You kind of want to coincide your arrival to point with when your team shows up. At least for your healers to be in line of sight of you, so you don't immediately get hit by like a sniper shot or a Hanzo shot, or just taking spam downrange. This way you're just not lining yourself up to get them free ult charge right out the gate. But it's a good way to get to point fast, so if you try to take point from them first, you at least have a person on point to stall. That is the standard Doomfist rollout out of spawns. I'm actually surprised you're not setting yourself up earlier to go in. So like right here, you're setting up to check out what they're doing. Good stuff, good spam. Now that you know they have a Widow, you don't want to rotate in this box down here. So, the moment you see the Widow, you want to set yourself up to rotate far right side and stay out of her LOS and rotate around to see what else they're running. So you can control Mega. So if you deal any damage, if your team deals any damage to them, you can rotate the Mega health pack to deny them access to it, while the rest of your team sorts themselves out in positions where they need a position. This also takes you out of line of sight of the enemy team. But with you being on point, point isn't going to unlock for another 14 seconds. So the general rotation you want to make is when you do your rollout, you come out of spawn, you land over, you land here, and by the time you land, if they have any flyers or if a Widow grapples, by the time you land here, you'll see the abilities work. So you can see the grapple shot, or you can see the echo or the far in the distance. Then you rotate around and you work your way towards Mega, and you control Mega as well as the side access. So the enemy team does not take this position, and then they can start to encroach on point. You stay on point, you're poking out a little bit, you got your charge punch. The issue here is that after you use your block, you use your E to go in. So you go in, and then you're trying to charge punch into the Illari, but watch what happens. You're going to have no cooldowns, and you're either going to die, or you're going to take all the damage in the world and be left with no HP. Not to mention, because they're running an Illari, she has a pylon. So even if you pin her against the wall and you get a full headshot, she can still live due to her pylon. Which actually, she has the pylon in a bad spot. It's pretty out in the open. It can be seen. If she were to throw it up here, she could get heals still. But we're gonna watch what happens. I guarantee you die here, though. I guarantee it. Because you go in, you miss your shots, you take all the... Yep, you die. You take all the damage. And now your team is down a tank, and now the Zarya is free to run on your team, and their hit scans are free to take out your flyers. As you can see right here. Mercy dies, everything snowballs the moment you die. I'm not quite sure what your Lifeweaver's doing here. He just fed. You're feeding now too. You're going in without any backup. You have no supports. You have to waste your punch to go in to grab a Mega, and then you use all your abilities. And then now you're not at full health, and then now they're just walking on your team. So, you notice how the Zarya has been on your team the entire time while you're backing out to go grab Mega. What happens is that you're letting the Zarya walk, and your team doesn't have a way to deal with her. They have to burn her bubbles before they can kill her. So your idea to go in on the Mega is wrong. There's a Mega right here that you could have gone for. Grab the Mega that's hacked, and then you go in, and then you bully the Zarya. You don't worry about the squishies. You need to force the Zarya either off your team, or you force her into your team where she cannot get heals. You may still trade a support or a DPS for the Zarya. But once their Zarya's down, you're free to run in on their Widow, you're free to run in on the Hanzo, you're free to run in on the Illari. Because the only one on their team that you even have to worry about is the Brig and the Zarya. And the Brig is just an inconvenience. She won't kill you. The main thing you gotta worry about is the inconvenience of her booping you out of position. That's the only thing you really have to worry about. Everything else is free for you. So the moment their Zarya dies, you can go in and you guys win. It's a very simple playthrough. It's a very simple playstyle as well. It's how you're supposed to play Doom. If you cannot avoid the tank and go for squishies, you kill tank and then you go in on squishies. You inconvenience the tank to the point where they want to counter you, and then once they go to counter you, you ignore them, and then you go to kill the other teammates. It's a very simple setup. Just watch. You have to get saved. They burn a lot on the Zarya to keep her alive, and now that they burned everything, now you can go in. But the issue that you're doing, and it's something I see a lot of Doomfist players do, you're charging a punch down range, where a Hanzo can see you, and the moment you punch past here, the Widow can see you, not including everyone else on their team. So what you want to do is, you don't want to use your empowered punch here to go in. What you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to receive healing, and you're going to want to E in. So you want to E in and cut off the Illari's exit, and then you can punch her into a wall to kill her. You want to set yourself up for their escape rather than you commit in when they're backing up. Because it means you have no more abilities to get to point, you have no more abilities to get to them if they run away, and you leave yourself open to die without support. So you always want to engage either with your E or punch, but you only engage with your punch if you can move someone out of position. Otherwise, you always engage with E, because E is going to be your main source for gaining ult charge. You gain 3% ult charge for every enemy teammate that you hit with your E splash. So you can get up to 15% just off of your E ability alone. And you can do that every single time you have it. Now, it does depend on elevation, and the abilities can bug sometimes to where you won't always hit people, but it doesn't matter. Your main source of ult charge is your primary and your E ability. You use your right click for displacement, or you use your block and right click to confirm a kill. That's what you do. But as you see, you go in and you die to Hanzo, and now, even though you guys cap point, here comes their Zarya here in a second, and then now their tank can walk on your team. Your Kiriko's dead. They now have double supports and a sniper, and their tanks here. So your team's already going to lose point here. Because all they have to do is wait. There is no reason to be this aggressive. You set up. So what you want to do is, you don't want to set up in a canyon or box point like what point is, because you see how there's high ground all around it. It's a box. Once you go in, it's hard to get out. You don't want to set up here for the next fight. You want to set up on high ground near Mega. So once again, you're taking Mega away from the enemy team, you're denying them access to it, and this allows you to set up, you jump, try to peek heads, see where they're positioned at, and then you go in with your E, confirm the kill with either right click, or you can just block to build your right click, so you rotate your abilities so you always have an escape option. Your team has to understand how to play as well, so like this Genji can't just be brazenly waiting and face-tanking the Zarya. Even though the Sombra is hacking her, she still has high charge. I guarantee you this is around 60 or so for the Zarya. 37, okay, it's not quite that high, but that's still good enough to kill Genji fairly quickly. So you always want to set up. That's how you want to set up your plays. Something you also need to keep in mind as a Doomfist player, you need to learn how to do rollouts or use your environment to your advantage. So there's several techs that Doomfist can incorporate to make his gameplay smoother and better. One of which is called a diagonal punch. And what you use is you use a ramp surface to go up. However, you can't use natural cover like steps or a ramp like physical ramps like what this is, because this will cause friction and this will cause your ability to not go its full distance. It will act as a buffer, and you don't want that. So what you want to do is you want to aim for smooth surfaces like rocks or boundaries like this corner. And what you can do is you can set up your punch to where you jump and you punch, and you can diag, turn punch, and hit the Zarya into the wall. There are guides on how to do this. And if need be, I can show you a guide, or I can make a guide for you. Because I've been playing Doomfist for a long time, and I know how to do a lot of this stuff. Otherwise, you're just gonna burn your punch like you did, and now you only have one escape option, which is your E ability. You go in on Widow. Good play. Go in on her. You get her off of high ground. You force her to look back and reposition. Sombra goes in on the Widow now that she's out of position. That was a good setup. You go in on Alari. Good setup. The only issue is you're leaving her pylon alive. You need to kill her pylon in order to kill the enemy team. Receive healing. Go in on Hanzo. On the Hanzo, not the Zarya. So we're gonna go in again over at this angle. I want you to look. She's getting healed by the pylon the entire time she's bubbled. Meaning, you're not gonna get the clean kill. So you need to focus more on the pylon. You need to destroy her pylon, because if her pylon is destroyed, it's on a CD for 12 seconds. Meaning for 12 seconds, all they have is Alari primary healing, which is her right click. And that has limited range, and it burns her resources fast. So ignore the Zarya, and go in on the Hanzo. Now, and if everyone can excuse me for just a brief moment, my oven alarm's going off. I'll be right back. Alright, I apologize about that. I was cooking food. Oh, whoops. I was cooking food, so I needed to go take care of that. Alright, now that we're back at the gameplay here, let's look. This is a 17-minute game. So as you see, you go in when they have heals, and you're ignoring your main threat, which is the Hanzo. Zarya can kill you quickly, but if she doesn't have charge, there isn't a whole lot she can do to you. But the one issue you have to worry about is Hanzo. Hanzo has a lot of DPS. He has storm arrows, and if he lands headshots, that just kills you faster. So the main thing you have to worry about is the Hanzo. So the moment you engage, you push this Hanzo out of LOS of the Zarya. So she can't bubble him, so you push him around this corner right here. You charge punch him this way, and then you force him to back up. Then you force the Zarya to chase you. And then what happens is your Life Weaver is going to pull you out. You re-engage with your E ability, so forcing more Zarya bubbles. You destroy Pylon, and then you just keep pushing them back until they're forced to regroup. And then you just keep taking space while you can. That's how you play this. These have to be mini fights. You're not actually... Your goal... The goal with this comp is either you get picks and you get them fast, or you don't get picks and you just prevent them from engaging. That's how you play into this. Especially considering they have a Brig and a Zarya. You don't actually need kills in order to win the game. You just need to prevent them from being able to do what they need to do. So you're getting your full abilities. That was a botched as hell dragon. Botched. Unfortunately, I think your Life Weaver dies here. Maybe? No, no, no! And you guys cleared out the Zarya. That's actually big. Big plays. Big plays. You need to destroy... Yeah, there you go. Destroy the pylon. Destroy the pylon. With them running a Sombra now, you have to be very careful with your engagements. Oh, hold on 1 second. I apologize. I did not hear my phone going off. I apologize. But now that they have a Sombra, you cannot engage recklessly. You can't go in deep, because if you get hacked, you die. And now that they're running a D.Va instead of a Zarya, your primary focus is now solely to bully either the Illari or Hanzo, but you never overextend, because you'll get hacked, and D.Va will chase you and melt you down. So what you do is you play safe, you play at a distance, and you use your E ability more often to generate your ult, so you can go in with your ultimate and confirm kills. That is the necessary plan and process in order to make this work. Because right now, they're trying to counter you with a Sombra and a D.Va. And with them running Brig, they're just running 3 counters into you. And with 3 counters, it's very difficult to play the game. You can still make it work, but you have to play smart. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to lower the music volume just a tad. And then as you see, you're in deep, and you're getting melted. So real quick, I want to go back on your punch on the Sombra. I want to see how you mess up this kill. You should be able to kill her here. You have Empowered Punch. Okay. So, the issue here is that you took 2 steps. When you press forward, you click 2 steps. What you want to do is the moment they make contact with the wall, you press the W key, and the moment Doom makes one step, you hit left click and melee, and you will confirm the kill. Or she'll go down to pretty much no HP. But you're taking too many steps, which is misaligning your one-shot potential. Oh, excuse me. I got some hiccups. So we're gonna go back out. Sombra escapes. It's fine. Do not chase this. Now your next priority target isn't gonna be Sombra, it's the D.Va. Your goal is to now jump in on D.Va and go in on her while she's escaping. You don't chase her back to her spawn over here. What you do is, you don't even chase her behind her to prevent her escape. What you do is, you E over this building, and you land where she is. So you still hit her with the shockwave no matter what, but you don't overextend, and you can then block incoming damage from Hanzo or whoever. It's the safe play here, because if you go in over here, you're going to get hacked, you're going to get shot up a bunch, and then the D.Va's going to turn on you, and then you die and feed. So we're going to watch how this plays out, but I'm almost certain you're going to chase this. No, you play smart. Good job. So, you made a critical mistake here. Not necessarily for you, but to make sure this D.Va gets out. So, we're going to look at this D.Va here. You stare at her. Rather than punching her into your team, you decide to E over her for no real reason. If you punch her into your team, she's going to be taking damage from Genji, Kiriko, Lifeweaver, and you. So you're going to melt her down, and then you can body block her as she tries to escape. And then, when she tries to fly out, then you E over her, and then you punch her right back into your team. And now that she doesn't have an escape way to get out, she dies. You are essentially baiting her to use her ability by scaring her. And it's fitting considering their name is I Bait. But you jumping over her is going to allow her to escape, and she's not going to get punished for anything. Here comes D.Va getting full heals. He was rally. Good thing your Genji gets a pick. Good combo with Sombra here. Good chase. Get D.Va out. Oh my god, what is your Genji doing? And then once again, you guys left Pylon open. Which, it's the end of the round, it's fine, but because you let the pylon open, you run the issue of if anyone came to touch points, if you were damaging them before they arrived, they would still get healed by this pylon, which means they stand a better chance of stalling points. If you see the pylon, or you see someone getting healed from a direction from the pylon, you need to track down that pylon and break it. Otherwise, you might just be trolling. So, good setup. It's actually not a bad spot to stand. The only issue is, with you being up here, you don't have a lot of information you can gather. Because if they hug this wall here and walk along point, oh shit, and they walk along point, you're not really going to be able to see it. You need to set yourself up in a way. What do you mean you have no overextending to chase or diag punches and then bait people into the team? What do you mean by that? I mean, this is stuff you have to learn. This isn't something that you can just, like, instantly know. This is stuff you have to learn, and you have to practice with it. My main thing when I coach is positioning, especially with tanks. When you play tank, oh yeah, like overextending Sunbird. Well, like, in order to play tank efficiently, you have to be very aware of your surroundings, which means you need to have very good positioning. So a good setup to check out the map. So a good rollout that I do, I diag off of the ramp as it comes down, and then I E over, and I usually land over here. I usually land about here. And once you land about here, you can diag off of this round roof, and you could either, you could either just go over here, or you could diag off the roof, and you can actually land up here without needing to cross open, like you did to get over here. But what I like to do is, I like to diag the opposite direction, and I like to diag up towards Lighthouse. And the reason you diag towards Lighthouse is because you are right here. You can see most of the map. You see almost every rotation spot the enemy team has. So you see this doorway where they're walking out of. You see this doorway. You can see mid. You can see part of this back corner over here. You can see mid right here, and you can see high ground. All from this angle. So the main thing, the way that tank really works is positioning. So you need map knowledge, and you need the knowledge of where the enemy team is rotating. So you set yourself up in a spot to where you gather as much information as possible, as fast as possible, like right here. Now, if they're running like a Pharah, or an Echo, or even a Widowmaker, you don't want to stay up here. You just want to come up here for a few seconds, listen to enemy footsteps, hear where they're rotating to, and then you readjust and you rotate where you need to rotate to accordingly. Because where you're at, this is not the best spot to see, as we will see from your perspective. Hello? So, like right here, you don't have a lot of information. So, even if you look left, because you're just looking down, even though you look left, you can hear the Orisa on point, but you don't see any of these people. And you especially don't see right side where the Alari is walking. So the appropriate way to play this is up here, check your surroundings, see what they're doing, because as a Doomfist, you should be the first person on point ever. And I mean this. Doomfist can reach points faster than Ball. There are many a times I do rollouts on maps, and I appear at a location before a Ball does. And that's because Ball has his grapple delay. You can get to point faster, so you use your rollouts and map knowledge to adjust and pay attention to how the enemy team is rotating. But right now, your main issue is you are ignoring the enemy team. You are more worried about someone being up here than you are about what's happening below you. Because if you were ready, if you were up here, you would see that this Hanzo is at no health. He is easy to kill here. So if you E on him, so you E and you go to the stairs and you block his escape, you confirm the kill on the Hanzo. Easy. And then Genji, Lucio, and you can go in on the brig. Very simple plays. Very simple setups. But this requires map knowledge, and this requires you to look. Well, that's fine. If you think Alara is there, that's fine. But you don't chase. As a tank, you need to be the tank. You need to take the damage for your team. Your job is to take the damage and to dish out damage while being the main focus for the enemy team. You are not doing that right now. You don't have to do that every waking second. That's not what I'm saying. But that is your main goal as a tank. Take space and be the first thing they look at. You're just kind of wandering around right now, and it's causing your team to lose points. Even though no one on your team is critical right now, they have an Orisa on points with a Tracer. They could just hold point by themselves. They can stall forever. Which means, once they cap, it's over. That's the end of it. They'll get to 99 before you guys win the fight. So even if you win the fight, they'll come back with ultimates and just win it back immediately. They're playing the stall comp, which means you have to kill them before they can set up. What the hell is happening? I don't have audio. Hold on. Okay, I figured out what it was. My headset just randomly shut off. That was weird. There we go. So you see Lucio chasing your team. You guys got Hanzo to 1, but Genji still died. And now Orisa's in deep, but she has a team to back her up. And they're about to cap point. See, look at that. You get booped off, they cap point. There is now no reason that they can't win this. Illari is setting up on point early. And look, they cap. They guarantee cap this. And then now your Life Weaver is overextended. He dies for it. Maybe he does. Yeah, he dies. He dies for it. And now you're overextended. So you're set up. As long as they don't know you're here, it's fine. But keep in mind, you need to set up. You have to set up. That's how you play Doomfist. You need an in and you need an out, and you need to know where the enemy team is so you can get in and get out with maximum value. And with you being set up here, you don't know where they're positioned at. You don't know where they're set up. So now you're too far out. You need to play back here on bridge so you see where they are set up. It's called light feeding. You lightly feed so you know where to go. You will give them a little bit of ult charge, but it's more than worth it. And then now, yeah, the Illari knew you were there. So now they're just going to chase you. And then now you die. It's something you have to be very careful of. You guys do trade for the Hanzo, which is a fairly good pick. Because you come back fast. Hanzo does not. Decent rollout. You didn't quite get to high ground, but it's fine. Unfortunately, your Ashe dies. So right here, your engagement is not great. So we're going to go over this. We're going to watch your engagement here. We're going to watch where you E. So you punch, and you miss the punch. What you want to do is not engage with a punch. What you want to do is engage with an E. You want to engage with your slam. So the correct path to pick with how they're set up, where you want to E in, you're going to want to E in over this. And you want to land right here at this corner, so you want to land on the stairs. So you're hitting 3 people with your E ability, so you're maximizing the damage and ult charge you receive from your slam, but you're still in LOS of your support, and if you need to and they start engaging you, you can use your punch ability to get the fuck out back with your Life Weaver. And then you just get heals, and then you just burn their abilities, so they burn their abilities to heal each other from the little bit of damage that you do, and it gives you ult charge without giving them ult charge. But you engaging like this, you no longer have your punch, so all you have is your E ability to get out. Now watch what happens. You're going to start taking damage. So now you're rotating towards points, which means you're rotating away from your team, away from your help, and you're now rotating in a way that they can box you in a corner and kill you. So see your rotations. You get forced out. No E ability. Now all you have is your punch and your block ability. You have very low health. And then now they chase you, and then now you kill yourself. So, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of what I'm seeing is what I see from, you know, players that are new to Doomfist, or players that are not too familiar with tank. They don't know the tank mindset of how to set up and how to engage, which is fine. You know, that's all about learning. That's all fine and dandy. But if you start working on your positioning and your thought process of how to heal and readjust to situations, you will climb on tank, especially on Doomfist. Now, Doomfist is not the best tank. He's not even the best dive tank, because he gets countered pretty hard by Cassidy, Sombra, Orisa, Sigma, even Zen, Brig. You know, even Lifeweaver kind of counters him because he can just pull people away from being dove. So the main thing you have to worry about is know when. Well, you're plat, sure. No, you're plat, but that doesn't mean much. You can climb from... Let me tell you something. I have coached a lot of people throughout my time on Overwatch. A lot of people. And I can't tell you how many people I've coached in Platinum, or how many people I've coached in Gold. And just after a couple VODs, I see them get to Diamonds. I see them get to Masters. The most improvement I've ever seen someone do, they went from Silver 3 to Masters 1 in a week. In a week. And that was just off of positioning. Because I can't help you improve your mechanical skills. That's up to you. I can't help you improve your aim. I can give you advice, but I can't, like, directly improve you. You have to be able to do that yourself. So that's on you to improve your aim. My job is to make sure that you can improve your positioning and set yourself up. What was that? Yeah, I can't. Elmi position is really bad. Well, positioning is very key in this game. You could be the literal best aimer in the game. I mean, you could have aimbot level aim. Oh, you can't. Oh, you can tell you have really bad positioning. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But that, I mean, that's kind of expected. You're in plat. I mean, I know GM players that have pretty bad positioning, but they're carried by their godlike aim and the people that they play with. They'll have a mercy pocket, for instance, which will help them in you know, GM and Masters. But positioning matters more than anything else, because as you could be Defran, you could literally be Defran, where you have like just like insane aimbot aim. You always hit your shots. But if you have bad positioning, you may hit your shots, but you'll still die, and you'll still feed, and you'll still cost your team the round. So if you adjust your positioning and get really good positioning, you'll climb without the aim. And then eventually, you can work on your mechanical aim, and then you can fine-tune it to the point where not only do you have godlike position, you have godlike aim. And then at that point, the sky's the limit on where you could go. So, you're dead here, they engage your team, you guys trade, which is pretty dang good. You know, they're down a Brig, that's actually a massive play, but you guys need to start going towards point soon. You need to rotate to point to try to take point. So right here, you see where you're set up at? You have your empowered punch. So you see the Alaria on high ground. Now, I don't know if you've damaged her yet, so you can't really see someone's health until you damage them. But you see the Alaria on high ground. You see where she's set up at. You can actually either go to engage her, or better yet, you can ignore the Orisa, and you can actually use your empowered punch just to go directly to point, to force the Orisa and their Lucio, or sorry, not Lucio, their Tracer to come back towards you, which will get pressure off of your team, so your team can come towards point and assist you. This is the play that you want to make. So we're going to go back. We're going to watch the gameplay here. Alari dies, so now you just go to point. Just go to point. You guys need a cap. You don't want them getting high up on payload. Or not payload, but on point. And then as you see, the clock's still ticking down. 77, 79, 80. 81. They got to 81%. Oh, shit. They got to 81% on point. And I guarantee you, you could have stopped them before they hit 75. That extra 6% makes a big difference when you're trying to get into overtime. I promise you. If you treat payload with more importance than elims, I'm not saying go to payload, I'm not saying go to point or payload when there's 4 or 5 people on it. That's a bad idea. But if there's only like 1 or 2 people on payload or point, you can go there and stall, and you can try to clear it as fast as possible. Because then you set them in a reset to where they can't come back and immediately cap, or they can't come back, win with ults, and then immediately win. They'll still win point, but you still have a chance to touch. So, I like that you're setting up for the next fight. I don't like where you're setting up. Remember what I said. If the rest of your team is over here, you don't need to cover this angle. Your team has that covered. You need to cover this angle. But you don't cover this angle by sitting here. There's no reason for this. What you need to do is that you need to set up over here, as I said, check out high ground. Check out the rotation here. Check out the rotation here. Because you know what you can do? If they walk out and they start walking to points, you can just drop and then punch them off the map. It's very simple. It's a very simple, like, rotation. You just drop, rotate, punch them off the map. I can't tell you how many times I do this. It's super simple. And, as I said, this gathers as much information as you need. This gathers the most information you could possibly want as a tank. Especially as a diving tank. So you're set up here on low grounds with no real escape options. So if they bum rush you with a Lucio amp, you're just screwed. And now, as you see, you guys are all in one location. So if Tracer wanted to, Tracer could ignore all of you, blink to point, and try to cap it. Which means all your teammates are going to come back towards point to stop Tracer, and then that's going to allow the Orisa to walk in. And then she can stall point, while the rest of their team goes in. You're just setting yourself up for failure going this deep. So as you see, you no longer have punch, you no longer have E, you're now engaging an Alari that has a healing pylon on her, and the Hanzo can just turn around and start shooting you. Same with the Brig can bail out the Alari. You have no escape. And you cannot confirm the kill. Every time you try, you punch him on the little white edge. Well, see, here's the thing. You don't... There's a method to punch people off the map. You kind of have to abuse the mechanics of the game. So, the appropriate way to punch someone off the map is you aim your reticle for their head. For some reason, where you aim your punch on a person's body dictates how they respond to their environment on Doomfist. I don't know why. It's how Doomfist has always worked. But if you aim for Orisa's head, or like, let's say it's the Alari. If you aim for the Alari's head, you can actually continue the punch, and they'll diag off of it. So, even though this is a wall, what you're doing is, you're forcing their character model to diag at a certain angle. It's like a very minute degree. It's like a 13% degree. But the 13% is just enough to where they clip upwards off the wall here, and they fall off the map. I mean, I do it all the time. There is a bit of math involved with Doomfist. And if you're not good with math, I mean, good luck. But you gotta understand, like, basic geometry in order to really play heroes like Doomfist or Hanzo or even Genji. It's just basic geometry. Same with Orisa. Orisa jab. You can Orisa jab people off the map right here, but you have to aim for their head with the javelin, which makes it harder to hit them. But the higher up you aim, the more likely their mass and inertia from the pylon hitting them clips the map and it knocks them off. Well, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, those are the heroes that use this type of playstyle. And as you see, you go in, you ultimate, which is good. Orisa might die here? Okay, Orisa does die. Genji dies. You clear Hanzo, but now they have Brig and Alari come to point to help Tracer. This should be winnable. It depends on what this Alari does here. If the enemy Alari was more proactive with her positioning, so if she used her shift to get in fast and she ulted, you guys could have lost that fight. But her inaction is the reason why you guys win. Which, you know, hey, take it. They fucked up. That serves your purpose. But just keep in mind, just because the enemy team plays bad does not mean what you're doing is correct. You can be rewarded for playing badly. That is a thing that can happen. Which is how people develop bad habits. And you don't want to do that. You want to develop good habits. Confirm the kill on the Tracer. Good shit. Orisa is in by herself. You can engage on this. But don't chase her when she goes back to her... Okay, so like right here. This is what I'm talking about. So like right here. Where the Orisa comes in, right? When you see the Orisa here, you keep engaging with your punch. Never engage with punch unless you can get an environmental. Never. Never engage with punch. Punch should be your escape option. And the reason punch should be your escape option is because you move in a straight line very fast. You should always save punch for disengage. What you should do here, with her being in this deep, you E in over here. So you use your E ability, and then you punch her back towards payload. So, Hanzo cannot assist her. Hanzo cannot come over here. He has to rotate all the way around. So, like, he has to go through here to go help her, because now he has to be on this side. Or, he has to walk mid, which makes him an easy target for anyone aiming right here. And he has to walk around to help her. If you punch her deep into payload, she's by herself. There's nothing here to help. But that's not how you want to play Doom. You do not want to save your slam for disengage. You want to save it for engage. And the reason being is because slam does not have knockback. Slam also moves slower than punch. So if you use punch to disengage, you move out faster, and you have knockback. So if you engage with a target, you can actually boot them away, versus your E, which doesn't do that. That's the appropriate way to play Doom. And keep in mind, I've been playing Doom for years. Like, I've been playing Doom since Season 14 of Overwatch 1. I played him during his DPS days, and I play him during his tank days now. And he has changed quite a bit. But there are still a lot of what's the word? There's a lot of fundamentals of Doom that have remained the same. And some of the fundamentals of Doom are, you engage with slam, you leave with your punch. That is how he's always done it. But that's the thing, you don't need a full charge punch to escape. So, I can show you it here after this VOD, but there are different ways to engage with Doom Punch to get out fast. So, if you tap Doom Punch, so let's say you're charging Doom Punch, if you just tap the trigger, since it's on controller, you tap the trigger, and you hit your space, or not space button, you hit your jump button at the same time, which I think is X, or A, I don't know if you're on Xbox or PS4, you'll do a very brief charge punch, which carries all your momentum of the punch, but it significantly slows down the charge duration. It doesn't take you as far as a full charge punch, but it still does enough. It's a short punch. It's a tech punch. So you go in on the Orisa here. You go towards Hanzo. You take a fuck ton of damage here. And your Lifeweaver has to use Grass to get you out. And now Lifeweaver can't pull out Ashe. So Ashe dies. Ashe gets chased and killed. Now Lucio's in too deep, and your Genji's in too deep. So you lose your Genji. Now you're going to lose your Lucio. That's a good beat by him, but you don't win this. You die. You die. Damn, you guys just burned a lot of ultimates. God damn, you guys are burning everything. Oh god, your Lucio barely lived. Holy shit. And they almost recapped. But, unfortunately, you guys still lose. Your team burned too many ultimates. Alright, you destroyed Pylon. Good shit. But you need it to... and you can't touch. You're dead. So, the only one on your team that can touch right now is Lucio. Only one. And he dies. Yep. No touch. If you're gonna set yourself up... So this is a bit of advice. If you're gonna set yourself up to touch, don't set yourself up where they can see you. Which means you have to have map knowledge, so you have to know. So, like, right here. This is a setup to touch. Even though this is super far away from point, this is what I would use to touch point with 93% left on the timer. And what you do is... you E out of spawn, you land up here, you wait, 93, 94%, you charge up a punch, you diag off, and you land next to point, and you can go in and touch point. They don't see you doing this, so they don't see you setting up. The only time they see you is when you actually touch point. That's how you do a proper touch. Otherwise, you're just walking in a straight line, and you're easy as hell to kill. Or you set yourself up in a place where they can just go in and kill you. You're still staying in spawn. You're the last person out of spawn yet again. You fuck up your diag here, which, I mean, is fine. That happens. Honestly, the safest bet out of spawns on well is you just diag off a ramp up in the air, and you E. And your E momentum will carry you to about here. So if you wanted to, you could aim for high ground, but it doesn't really do too much. So I recommend you aim for just here, and you go mid. And then you rotate with a punch over here, and then you set up early. And you check to see what they're running. And then, if they start getting too close too fast, punch back. And then reset. And then you repeat this way. Everything that I'm doing with my camera right now is how you should treat this on Doom. So punch, rotate around, see if there's anyone over here, which there would be a Cassidy. Then you rotate pillar, and then... since Cassidy's over here by himself pretty much, you E in. E in, punch him, let him use his abilities, block. If you need to, if he damages you too much, get out. But the only thing you're doing is you're applying pressure. Even if you can't confirm the kill, you're applying pressure, making him think twice about going back over there again. That is the appropriate way to set this up. Because remember, right here, what you're doing right here, right now, you do not... have punch anymore, and you do not have your E ability anymore. So the moment you go in right here, all you have is your block ability. So keep that in mind. You have no escape option. So watch what happens to you. So like you set up there, good setup, no block, no E, no punch. Now you can't get out, and you're in the middle of the enemy team. The moment they pay attention to you, you die. Which... good news for you, they're not paying attention to you. They ignored you. Which is, you know, good. Them ignoring you benefits you. But, if you were to play at any higher of a rank, so let's say you played at diamond level, you would not be able to get away with that. They would immediately look at you, and then you get CC'd into oblivion. You would get shifted by the Ilari, so they pin you in a corner. You would get E'd by Cassidy, so the grenade. And then you would get jabbed by the Orisa, and then if you tried to escape, you get whip shot back in the corner by Brig, and you just die. It's feeding. And as I said, that's at any much of a higher like skill lobby. So if this was Diamond or Masters or whatever, you would not be able to get away with that. So we want to cut that habit out now. Stop that habit from forming. And that's what you want to do. You guys should cap this. Maybe? Hanzo dies, right? Hanzo dies, right? Right? Alright, now you're in deep. Good job. Good job. Good rotations. Good pressure on the D.Va. Good work. So yeah, there you go. Pylon's destroyed. Good E. Get free damage in. Punch the D.Va back. Make sure she can't touch. This is good. All this right here is really good. Good follow-up. Good ults. Good getting in. You missed your punch, but it's fine. Good confirm. Force the D.Va back. All this is good here. Good escape. Good get out. Good forcing the D.Va back. See, like, right here. All this right here is really good. This is how you play Doom. This is how you play Doom around corners. Ilios Well is the best example of this. You can also do this on other maps, like Volskaya, Lijiang Tower, you know, places with a lot of corners and paths to corners. But this is like the best example of it. You hold a very small space, but you prevent them from touching. They can never touch point doing this. And this is very well played. This is very well done. Congrats. Like, legitimately good decisions and good gameplay here. You're not overextending very much here, and you're setting yourself up to get free cooldown, and you're already building your ultimate back up. You're already back up to 19. You could be a little bit higher up. You probably should be around 30 or so, but Doom generates ult charge pretty fast. So by the time the D.Va gets to 100% and the Hanzo gets to 80, you should be at about 60 to 70% for your own ult. Doom generates ult very fast. Extremely fast. So good job. Good confirm on the brig. Great shit. Don't let this D.Va touch point. Good shit. Right here. Great. She goes in deep. No kill. No kill on D.Va Bomb. The only issue here is that now you're ignoring the D.Va and you're chasing this Hanzo. Now, I agree you should chase Hanzo, but you're too far away from point. The reason being is that Lifeweaver has no one to help him with this D.Va. If this D.Va wanted to chase your Lifeweaver to permanently make sure he dies, she can. The Pharah can only do so much as far away as she is. You're in with your Genji. You kinda have to play Peel for your backline here. You don't want to overextend. So, right here, this lip of the stairs is the furthest you go. You do not go back any further. And the reason being is because you can E over this wall to get back to point. Anything else, you're feeding, and that's wrong. This is kind of a gray area, what you're doing right here. It's a gray area, but you can make it work. If you know what you're doing, this isn't necessarily a bad play. So we'll see here. Yeah, and then you go back to help your Lifeweaver. Good choice. Unfortunately, you guys died. And you go back. Good. You knew when to stay in and to get out. Good job. You did not overstay your welcome. Very well played. And then you're doing a good rotation. Okay, maybe not that. Your rotation this way was fine, but you didn't need to use your E ability or your right click. You could have just peeked to see what they were doing. You're information gathering. You're setting up for the next fight. You're not actually looking to engage here. You're looking to set up. So you see, okay, Alari, Brig, D.Va, right here. You do not see Pylon, you do not see Cassidy, and you do not see Hanzo. So this is the information you gathered. So you know where they're set up. So you play right side. You can try to rotate without being seen. If you get seen, you get out. But the information gathering here is you're looking for someone that's an easy target to get, or you're looking for a way you can engage from. Oh, you definitely need to info gather. 100%. On any hero that dies. Not tank, not just DPS, not even... Like, there are supports that are great for diving and info gathering. Lucio is one of them. Moira is an okay one. It's not the best. Lifeweaver is pretty good because of his platform. but he doesn't really have a way to get in deep and fast. But Lucio, and unironically, Illari. Illari is fantastic for information gathering because her shift ability is, or her jump ability is on a very short cooldown, and if you know how to do her techs correctly, you can get to pretty much any platform to get yourself a high ground advantage when information gathering. So like Ball, Doom, Diva, Winston, those are all good for information gathering. Genji, Tracer, Pharah, Echo, those are all good for information. Echo more than Pharah. Pharah's kind of slow, because she's kind of floaty. Echo is very good for moving fast. Even Genji. Genji's good. But, surprisingly, Hanzo is the best at information gathering because of Sonar Era. Honestly, if you get a good feel of Hanzo, I would play Hanzo over Tracer for information gathering any day. I'm not even joking. Well, and Widow too. Widow's also good for her grapple. But specifically for dive, information gathering is key. Because you need... So, like, the proper way to play dive is fast and hard. You get in as fast as possible, and you hit them with burst damage as fast as possible so you can confirm a kill. That's how dive works. Dive works by snowballing the enemy team into dying, staggering them. So you kill someone very fast, you wait a couple seconds to kill another person, so when they're on their way back from spawn, they're not all coming back at the same time. They trickle in. And if you keep the momentum, you're staggering them, ultimately doing what's called a snowball, where they keep getting pushed back, and back, and back, and back, to the point where they cannot stall point, and you just hold them in spawn. That's how dive is played correctly. That is how dive is played at a professional level. And that's kind of the feel you want to go for. So, information gathering. I'm talking quite a bit, but since this is the first time I've ever VODed for you, I want to get this out of the way, so there's no, like, confusion on what you should be doing. And it's a good way to set you up for success. Be back in like 1 minute. That's fine. I'll continue on. As I said, this will be uploaded to YouTube. So, like, your team setting up, Genji setting up. You go in deep. You almost fall off the map there. You get really lucky. But their break falls off. So once again, you misplay here. You go in a little too deep. So right here, you go for the punch. You want to punch the diva, but she's too high above your head, and you're going to follow the... So, like, how punch works with stairs, you're going to contour every single angle on the stairs. So, you see how these steps are, how they're coming up and down at an angle? That counts as your movement space. So each one of these takes up movement. And so you're going to follow the contours of the stairs to get up here. Which means you're going to be as low as possible for the diva, and she's going to keep moving up. So you're going to miss your punch. Then you're going to go in too deep. And so the appropriate way to get out of this situation, once you punch in too deep, like you do. So like right here, where you're at, you're getting crossed off by Diva, Cassidy, and Brig, and Illari. The appropriate way to get out is to E over this way. And you E on high ground. Which also sets you up to drop near point if you need to touch. Which means you can go in on the Hanzo or the Illari. But you don't want to stay where you're at, because you're just going to die, as you see. So, like, go in, go out. You go in right here. You die here. Because you don't get out. You go in on a health pack, and then you get fanned and murdered. Damn, they turned this around very fast. Their Illari's not bad. Their Illari's hitting shots. So, good job on the Illari. They're doing quite well. And then right here, this is a good information gathering spot. So coming up here is a good choice. The main issue you have here is that you back off. So you can play right here. I don't recommend walking to the edge, because they could just shoot you. But if you see what they're running, and you back off, and you play by bench, so they can't see you here. The moment this Hanzo comes up here, you can just punch him back off. You control this space now. You control this. The only people that can get up here is Hanzo, Alari, and D.Va. No one else can get up here. And so if you, and with D.Va being demeched, only Hanzo and Alari can get up here. And you can just keep knocking them off. Hey, Irichi, what's up, man? How you doing? I didn't see you join. How you doing, Irichi? It's been a while. But yeah, if you just play bench right where you're at, and you prevent them from coming up here, you control this high ground, which lets you continue to gather information. It stops them from setting up for the next fight, and it means you're ready for the next fight. So you can go in on whoever. You can E in behind them, hit all 4 of these guys with your E. You can kill Baby D.Va. You can displace Alari. You can displace Hanzo. You can force Brig to back off. There's a lot you can do with this information up here. But you let the Hanzo spook you and scare you. Yeah, he's Platinum. He's also playing on console. He specifically wanted help with tank, and he said he's trying to learn Doomfist. So, I've been doing this VOD for about 45-50 minutes now. I've been going over a lot with him. So, like, you backing off right here lets the Hanzo take high ground from you. As you see, he's forcing you out. Alright, good kill, good kill. But now you lost your high ground. And then you kill yourself. Oh my god. Freaking knock you off. Ooh, ooh, good fucking reset, bro. Good reset. So, right there. Fantastic reset on the D.Va mech. Fantastic reset on the D.Va mech. Well, the stream's been going for 1 hour and 10, but the recording that I have for YouTube is only 1 hour and 4 minutes long. Hey man, I'm glad you stopped by. How's work going for you? But like this right here, you punch D.Va out of mech, so you reset her remech. The only thing I don't agree is when you go in with your ultimate, you waste your punch on D.Va. D.Va is at literally, I think, 3 HP right here, maybe 5. She's at 5 HP. Your punch, if you land the punch, like the initial punch damage is 30 damage, and then whatever the knockback damage is, I think it's like 50. So it's like 80 damage. But with Empowered Punch, you add an extra like 30 to 40% to that, so it can do over 100 damage. So you don't want to punch the D.Va at 5 HP. You want to punch the Brig that is at half health and rallied. If you make contact with the wall here, if you follow up with a lead shot, like a primary, you kill Brig too. Oh, really? You're having troubles with... I've been having troubles with stream. For some reason, my bitrate just won't work. I talked to Min yesterday about resetting my bitrate, and it's helped, but it doesn't seem to, like, fix the issue. I'm still stuttering on stream. I don't know why. It's very, like, choppy at times. Like, right here, I'm looking at it. It's down to, like, 30 frames. I don't know why it's doing it. Because it should be streaming at 60. I think I'm gonna adjust my bitrate a bit more and make it a little bit better. Try to raise my bitrate a little bit higher. Because he was telling me to lower it, but I think it's better at higher bitrate. So, like, yeah, you see right here? You burn it. Granted, the Pharah gets the kill for you. Pharah confirms your kill on the Brig, but you could have done that yourself. And good. You don't overstay your welcome. You don't stay in. You don't feed. You maintain distance. There you go. There you go. Back out. Back out. Oh, you die. Well, you did feed after all. It just took a bit. Your Life Weaver dies here, I think. Yeah. You guys had 3 ultimates, almost a 4th. you should be able to recontest and maybe win this with your ultimates. Because you can beat, engage with Fire Barrage, and then you can save Tree for May ult. But you guys have to touch. And you're gonna be the one to touch. Oh no, you went off of Doom? Okay. So, the main issue here... Excuse me. The main issue is that you swapped off of Doom. When you're this close to the end of the match, where it's like, you have to touch, you need to be the one to touch. Don't let your Lucio do it, because they're set up to kill Lucio. You need to go in as Doom. And you can contest, and then you can bait out abilities, get empowered, bait him into a corner, you know, get kills. But you don't want to go Zarya here. They have a Soldier, they have a Diva, and they have a Hanzo. All of those break your bubble fast. So even though you'll get high charge, you'll be melted extremely quickly. And you do not have strong heals. You have a Lucio and a Lifeweaver. Zarya is not the pick. If anything, you should be mirroring the Diva. If you wanted to swap to something off of Doom so you don't continue to feed, you could go Diva. Or you could even go Ball. If you're not good at Ball, I recommend Diva, because Diva Defense Matrix is going to eat a lot of the damage coming back for you. But, I think you guys lose this. There is 2 minutes left. So it seems like it's going to be a lot of overtime. That was a good Ice Wall by your Mei. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's really good. That's really good. Really good freeze. This is winnable. Winnable. There you go. Get that diva out of mech. Get that diva out of mech and you win. Destroy that pylon. Come on. Come on. Don't let this soldier kill you. Alright, there you go. There you go. So, this is a mistake I see a lot, and I mean a lot of players making. They ignore this. This thing is going to be the bane of your existence if you do not shoot this. Do not let this thing survive. This thing has insane range. It can heal up to here. So, right where I'm at right here, the pylon can heal this distance. And it heals very fast, and it heals critical HP targets first. It doesn't go by proximity, it goes by critical hit status. So the lower HP you have, the more it's going to primarily try to heal you over someone else. So do not ignore this, because this is why you guys lose this. The pylon is why you guys lose. The pylon is healing the diva to full. You could have demeched and killed diva without doing this. Alari's won, but I think you died. Maybe? Maybe winnable. If you keep your supports alive. Destroy the pylon, please. Thank you. There you go. Good, good. Going in on the Hanzo Soldier, but you go in too deep. Alright, good pick. Come on. Winnable. Oh, no. Okay, you guys capped. That's actually big. Don't let this Lucio kill you. If you can kill this Lucio, you win. There you go, there you go. Winnable. Just kill Alari. There you go. Nice win. There you go. So, ultimately, you need to gather information. So you need to be able to gather information more effectively.